Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of 7 ways to increase takeout orders for your restaurant. This is episode 47 of Secret Sauce, the restaurant marketing podcast.
Some restaurants are quiet, lose money, and the owner works 70 hours a week. Other restaurants are busy, profitable, and the owners work a few hours a day. What's the difference? They have a secret sauce. Join James from Marketing for Restaurants as he helps you come up with your recipe for restaurant success. Your secret sauce.
In the last episode, we talked about why takeout is so important, and that is because it removes the bottleneck from the number of tables that you have. If you've got spare capacity in the kitchen, it's another revenue stream that you can use to build the revenue and build the profitability of your restaurant. We talked about some of the issues around logistics. It's a little bit more difficult. Rather than delivering the food to the table out the front, you're now relying on a driver to deliver the product, and it's not going out on plates. It's going in some sort of box, some sort of packaging. What are you thinking about with the packaging? How are you branding that packaging? Is the food part of the packaging, like the deep dish pizza pie that we had in Chicago? We talked briefly about menu engineering and why that's so important. What is it that's going to be in your online ordering menu? You know, not everything should be there. Do you want to put something special in there? Do you want to have an online only offer to drive more people to try your online ordering offers? Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about the economics of online ordering, and I'm going to try and keep this. I'm going to use an example from Domino's because I think these guys do a really, really good job of selling a truckload of pizzas and bringing in a truckload of revenue into their business. And I think that there's some really interesting things that we can learn from them. We're then going to talk about the ways that you can use your database of online ordering customers to come up with some really innovative ways of getting them to order more often from you. So let's crack on. Now, the first thing that we want to talk about is Domino's Pizza. So they have been around for a very long time selling pizza, and so they formed in 1960, so quite a long time ago. Their revenue now is $2.5 billion. That's a lot of pizzas in anyone's kitchen. So very successful at what they do. And I'm going to use some examples from Domino's Australia, which is one of the master franchisee holders. And in Australia, these guys are very successful at what it is that they do, which is cook and deliver pizza. So the interesting thing that I did was I went to their website. They've got a great website. You can tell a lot of money has been spent in their online ordering solution because it is one of the best online ordering solutions. And I think this is because what they're trying to do is they are trying to compete against everyone else. They are fighting for you to order pizza, not any pizza, but pizza from Domino's, a Domino's pizza. So they want the whole solution to be as simple and quick and easy as possible, and they want to be able to do as many upsells and all of those sort of things as possible. Compare and contrast, so they compete directly against Menulog in Australia, which is owned by Just Eat, but it's the same for Grubhub and all of those other guys. Those guys don't do a very good job of enabling people to differentiate themselves or people super hungry. You know, there's lots of food images on the Domino's Pizza website. They've done a lot of work, which is part of the online ordering platform. And it's one of the things that we're looking to do with Frola. We don't do it yet. We, obviously we get people to put it in through the gallery so that you can drive that, sort of that hunger, that desire to order from your restaurant. And I'd like to put it into the menus as well. And we've had a few people in talking about how that would be good. And I think that that's important. It's one of the things that we're going to put in. The other thing is it's easy to tell that a lot of work has been done around menu engineering, the way that they describe their pizzas, the ingredients that they put in there, so they've got the Hawaiian pizza in there, but there's a lot of other things which we talked about last year, but that was menu innovation from 50 years ago. They're innovating, they're coming up, they're trialing different flavors all of the time to see which ones are popular, and then they drop off the least popular ones so that they're continuing. They want to be working really, really hard to do a couple of things, get you to order again and get you to order more. So they want to increase the average sale value as well as the frequency that customers are purchasing from them. Now, the most important thing that I want to talk about with this is delivery versus takeout. So what I did was I went and I ordered 3 pizzas for pickup versus delivery. So and these prices that I've got, they're going to be Australian prices. So I ordered a Grand Supreme, I ordered one with the lot, and I ordered the Aussie. Now, so interestingly enough, pickup, they were $12.95 for the Grand Supreme. That's one of their premium pizzas. $9.95 for the lot and $9.95 for the Aussie. Now, there was a weekend surcharge of 15%, which took us to a total of $37.78 for the 3 pizzas. Now, I ordered the exact same order, but for delivery this time, and it worked out to be the Grand Supreme was $12.95, the lot was $13.95, the Aussie was $13.95, and the public holiday surcharge was $7.33. So it's interesting that there was a public holiday surcharge of 15%. So the lot and the Aussie pizza were $4 each more to get them delivered, and the Grand Supreme was $8 to have it delivered. Now, this is really, really interesting because when you think about it, if they don't have a minimum order, okay, so which is important, okay, which is important because there's a couple of things that affect your order volume, and one of them is your minimum order value. If you decrease the minimum order value right down really low, you will get more orders. Now, there's a problem with that. If you're doing deliveries, then you don't want to have, because it costs you hard money. You know, you've got the costs of petrol, vehicle maintenance, all of those sort of things. If it's your vehicle, otherwise you're charging, it's a per delivery fee that you're paying to your delivery drivers. So there's a very hard cost that goes into that. You don't want to have someone going out to do a $10 delivery. One of the things to think about, though, is what is your average price? Because you could be picking up the cheaper ones and it's going to slightly decrease your average price. But if it's above the point at which you're profitable, then that's okay. But I think that the really interesting thing here is that it's $8 to deliver that first pizza, which is amazing when you think that it was a $13 pizza. I mean, that's amazing. Now, they've got some sort of funky metrics going on there in the background because what I did was I created another pickup order and I ordered the pizza with the lot first. So that's a $9.95 pizza if I go in and pick it up. That $9.95 pizza is $19.95 if I want it delivered. So they're actually charging a $10 delivery fee. They're actually charging more for the delivery of the pizza than they are for the actual pizza. There's a $10 delivery fee on a $9.95 pizza. That's amazing. And so just out of interest, I added an Aussie into that as well, and that was an extra $4 for the delivery fee. So they have done some modelling around what it is that it costs them to deliver the pizza, and then I'm not sure how their delivery drivers get paid. That would be an interesting question to ask if someone wants to hit us up with that information. That would be cool. But very interesting how those sort of prices rack up. Now, on the original order that we had, so the Grand Supreme, the Aussie, and the one with the lot, the difference was $18.40. So on that $56, 32% of that was delivery fee. But if you look at it the other way, there's been a 48.7% increase in the original meal for the delivery fee. So the original meal, if I picked it up, was $37.78. It's a little bit whacked out because of the holiday surcharge, but an additional 48.7% on that fee. That is amazing, the fact that they would charge that much. Now, why do they do that? So there's 2 really, really interesting reasons here. One, I'm not sure what their average purchase is. It may be lower than it is for an Indian restaurant. They do sell pretty cheap pizzas, so their profit margins are probably fairly low, I would have thought. They probably can't wear the cost of the delivery as well as your average local restaurant can. The other thing is that the local restaurant, potentially it might be the owner who's delivering it or one of their relatives, so the costs aren't fully accounted for, and I think that that's wrong. You should be fully accounting for what it is that, for the cost of providing that delivery. What they do, though, and this is where I think a lot of the magic occurs in this, there's no delivery fee because people are just like, well, I don't want to pay that delivery fee. But I think what's going to happen is that people are going to look at it, and so this explicitly to me says that Domino's don't want to deliver a pizza to me. They're like, you know what, James? Get off your lazy bum and come and pick up the pizza. It's just going to be easier for everyone. It's going to be cheaper for you. You're going to save 50% of the purchase price by coming in and picking up the pizza. Now, it's cold and it's rainy and I'd rather be having a beer in my hand or a glass of red wine in preparation for the arrival of the pizza. So I'm not going to do that. But I don't order Domino's pizza at all, really. But these are the kind of things, for the privilege of sitting there with a glass of wine waiting for the pizza to be delivered, they are charging $18.40. This, I think, is the opportunity for you. And because no one, I don't think, is charging $18 in delivery fees. Domino's aren't explicitly saying, oh, here's your $37 worth of pizzas. Oh, by the way, we're going to charge you $18. They just say, well, it's $57 for the pizza to come along to you. Now, what is the thinking behind that? Is it because people are probably going to think, oh, well, it's a little bit more expensive, but that's okay? Is it better from a psychological point of view? Is it better that, it's still less than $20 a pizza, so it's still not hugely expensive, but we're not being explicit. We're not being in your face of, hey, you're lazy and we're going to charge you $18 because you're lazy. We're not saying that. We're just saying, well, the pizza's a little bit more expensive because but we are going to deliver it to you. And of course, then Domino's do all of that crazy stuff about, you can track your driver and all of that sort of stuff. I don't really think that that's that big a deal. I think part of it is them trying to justify the fact that, hey, and don't forget, we are charging you a significant premium for this. So it's really quite interesting when you have a think about the economics of that, the way that they're actually charging for delivery. Now, of course, they've got a delivery team that they need to pay to deliver those pizzas, and so they'll be wanting to. And of course, the Domino's is really set up for high volume pizzas. They have to ship a truckload of pizzas. That's why everything's designed to be as quick and efficient as possible. And of course, delivery slows that down. Like we talked about in the last episode, you create that bottleneck when you want to deliver it because you've only got X number of delivery drivers. So that's probably going to be a bottleneck. It's probably a lot easier to create a high throughput kitchen than it is to be able to build a team that is there. And let's face it, it would be very interesting to know what the spike is around those times. But we see that in our orders. There's very few hours. There's a few hours where it's really, really high volume. The rest of the time it sort of tapers off to, ones and twos. Whereas most of you are going to be getting a very high volume in those really peak hours of, sort of like, 6 till 8 o'clock on a Friday and a Saturday night maybe. It differs by cuisine and where you are and your local market, but they're the high volume places. How do you get a workforce that scales to that? Now, Domino's understand that implicitly, which is why they work so hard to push offers, push value to people who come and pick up the pizzas. This is what they're around. They're actually a pickup business. They talk about the delivery, and I think that pricing is probably predatory pricing. It's designed for you to go, you know what? I'll save the $18 on that delivery fee and I'll go and pick it up myself. To me, that's worthwhile. Maybe, maybe not. But a lot of people are going to say for that $20, they would prefer to go and pick it up. So they are shifting that bottleneck. They've got a bottleneck there about delivery drivers, and what they're doing is that they're going to make sure that they get the value out of having that very, very expensive logistics systems to do the delivery. If there's going to be deliveries, we're happy to deliver, but you're going to have to pay for it. Now, outside of Domino's, very, very, very few people are doing that. And why aren't restaurants doing that? And there's a very, very good reason for it. The online ordering systems that they've got don't have the flexibility to support pickup versus delivery pricing. And there's another really good reason, which is even more important. Restaurants, if they're using someone like a Menulog, Just Eat, Grubhub, Foodpanda, Eat24, all of those guys, you don't get the email address. So there is no remarketing to the restaurant. And that is absolutely critical in all of the things that we're going to be talking about for the rest of the podcast, because that is where the value is to be had. And of course, the really big thing to think about with Domino's is that they've put the effort into the logistics part of their business, the delivery part of it. They've then gone and charged that at a premium so that they know that it's not going to be a huge bottleneck for their business, that they'll be able to, that, the delivery times aren't going to blow out. Remember, that's part of their guarantee, the amount of time that they're going to be before the pizza arrives at your door. So they can't have too much of that. They can't have too much delay. And we know that, it's a busy night tonight. It's going to be an hour and a half before you get your Indian. That happens sometimes quite a bit. They can't have that because they've got a price guarantee. So high throughput kitchens with not many people taking up the offer of delivery. Now, in Australia, Domino's is a very data-driven company, and this is one of the things, this is how we think that we need to be moving to level a playing field on behalf of the small restaurants that we support, because, of course, the food that they are producing a lot of the time is more authentic, more tasty, and all of those sort of things. That's why we love small independent restaurants. So the thing that we're really excited about is the free restaurant online ordering system is now feeding into our free restaurant CRM system. And so we're now at the point where we're pushing live the ability for restaurants to be able to segment their data. So this is the first time that a lot of restaurants are going to be able to pull out a list of customers who have ordered online before and picked up. So all of your takeout customers are going to be there. All of the customers who have had a delivery from you are going to be there in a separate list, because this is the thing that's really exciting. You can start driving people to pick up. Well, what is the offer? Order a pickup meal and, we can give you this offer. Now, you can see, and there's plenty of ways to play with this. Are you going to give a discount if it's pickup? Are you going to give do you put your online ordering menu up, the prices up, so that you can reduce your delivery fee to zero? And then you can say, free delivery. Well, the price is a little bit more expensive, but you've actually covered the cost of the delivery. And you can see on 3 pizzas, Domino's is charging, and we're not talking cheap pizzas. Domino's in Australia, they'll sometimes do $4.95 basic pizzas. We're talking $9.95 pizzas here. So they're still pretty cheap. But they're charging, 50% of the price of the food to actually deliver that. Do you want to put the prices up a bit and then offer a discount to drive people to pick up? Plenty of ways to start thinking about this in a really interesting way that's going to increase the number of times that customers come in. And more importantly, you're shaping them towards pickup, which is going to be a lot easier to handle. As long as you've got a high throughput kitchen, then you really start to be on a winning formula as far as revenue and profitability goes. Now, of course, the next thing that we wanted to start talking about is anyone who's ordered from Domino's, you'll know that you get offers from them fairly frequently. And this is the important part that you want to be doing. You need to be building your email database. If you're not building your email database, then you are foregoing one of the easiest ways possible for you to increase the number of times that someone orders from you and orders again from you. And, we talk about at Marketing for Restaurants, we talk about helping you find new customers and turn them into repeat customers. The email address, that's the easiest way to turn them into a repeat customer. A new customer is someone who's ordered from you once. What is the percentage of customers that you've got who have ordered from you 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 times? If you've got the email address and they're not ordering from you again, then you've probably got a product or a price issue. The people aren't seeing value in what it is that they have ordered from you. If you don't have the emails, then you're never going to get to be able to have a think about that. You're never at the point where you can send an email out to 2,000 customers knowing that in the past you've had a 15% redemption rate on a certain type of offer, which means that you know that your database is good for 300 purchases. And if your average is $40, that's $12,000. You only need to be sending out one email campaign a month to be increasing your revenue by $144,000 a year. And don't forget, now if we're starting to think about sliding people towards pickup, if 80% of that's pickup, then you're in a very, very high margin part of the restaurant industry. You've got $120,000 in that high margin part. That's something to really think about, because this is where the profitability is. This is where the secret sauce for a lot of restaurants that are strong in takeout is, that they're not worrying too much about the logistics of the delivery because they've driven people, they've shaped people to create that habit where they're going to pick up. And when I think about it, I don't even know where our local Indian restaurants are. It's about 20 minutes for me to get from work to home. So it would be trivial for me to place an order and then roll in and pick it up, and it'd be sitting there waiting for me. No one has done that because the restaurant that I use at the moment, they're with Menulog. So they don't even know who I am. They know my address. I know that they know my address because, they deliver. And I know, they know me by my address. I'm the guy who likes the hot vindaloo at my address. But they can't email me and say, would you like to, here's our offer if you pick it up. Which is code for here's our offer if you can, decrease the number of times that we've got to go driving out on a Friday night because we're really busy and it's quite difficult. We would love to cook the food up for you and have it waiting here for you 20 minutes after you place that order. So there's a lot of things that you can think about with that, but the first thing you've got to be doing is collecting an email list and putting it into your database, then being able to segment it. And you can segment it in all sorts of interesting ways. You can segment based on the product that they ordered. We're also supporting anniversaries, birthdays, not really so important when you're thinking about online ordering, but definitely, cash versus credit card, that's an interesting one to segment by, but also by, I think the most important one is pickup versus delivery, because that's the one where you can take a really frantic Friday night and decrease the number of orders that you've got to do. And I know what it's like. I've had one of our customers has rolled up on my doorstep and said, "Oh, it's you." And I've gone, "Hello, what are you doing delivering food to me?" And he goes, "We are flat out tonight. We are just flat out. So I saw that the order wasn't too far away, so I dropped it into you." And it's like, "Oh, well, cool, thanks." You don't want to have the owner of the restaurant out doing deliveries. That's crazy talk, particularly when everything's really, really busy. I mean, he's a front of house guy, and I'm glad that he delivered the food to us. But yeah, you definitely want to be thinking about shaping people. And he is only 5 minutes up the road from us. So I could have quite easily gone there, but there's no value in it. They're delivering for the same price as pickup. So why wouldn't I get the added value of him delivering it to me? Now, as we do this segmenting, there's all sorts of interesting things that fall out of this. Who orders from you regularly? Who used to order from you regularly but doesn't anymore? Who orders large amounts? Now, you might want to come up with a bespoke campaign. Now, we are one of those customers. It's interesting. I've noticed over the last couple of months, our average order size has sort of gone to about $70. But prior to that, we were probably ordering $100, $110 because there was the Friday night. We would have it for lunch over the weekend probably, and then we would have a full meal midweek of it. And, we love Indian food in our house. It was the meal that we didn't have to cook. It was nice and easy just to have some Indian, throw it in the microwave and cook it up. Now we know that the average customer is ordering $40. I'm ordering 2.5 times that. Not once did I see any sort of, wow, you're a really big customer of ours. There was nothing in there to make me feel special in any way. And this is the thing, we're driven by the quality of food. We order from the current restaurant that we've got because they produce the vindaloo is not too sloppy. There is a lot of chicken in there. The chicken's really tender as well, and it's really, really hot. They're the kind of 3 things that I think make a really good vindaloo. Some of them are really watery. A lot of them aren't that hot, and a lot of them don't have There are all sorts of other stuff in there. Oh, look, I've got 4 potatoes in my chicken vindaloo. Never really wanted that. In my chicken vindaloo, I wanted chicken. These guys put a lot of chicken in there, and I think so they've retained me because of the quality of the food, but only because of the quality of the food. I reckon there's some customers that we've left in the past who did a pretty good vindaloo. If there was any sort of, just recognition of the fact that we did order quite a bit from, because you think about it, $100 a week, and we don't do Indian every week, that's $5,000 a year. There are very, very few restaurants that would have regulars who'd be spending $5,000, which is why we come back to it. Online ordering can be a significant part of your revenue. We're going to be introducing bespoke mail campaigns. So we're not doing this yet, but what we want to be able to do, and this is one of the main pushes that we're doing in our online ordering system. So at the moment, you'll be able to highlight everyone who hasn't ordered in the last 90 days. We want to have an automated marketing campaign. So as soon as someone hits 90 days, bang, let's send them out some sort of offer. And this is why you want to be segmenting your database. This is the critical part about it. You don't want to send me a 20% offer if I was going to order on Friday night anyway. Why would you have bothered doing that? Now, Menulog do that because they know that I'm likely to order, and they'll send out, get 30% off at this place, get this, that, or the other thing. They're trying to get me to change where I normally order from. So they're trying to use a monetary incentive. And generally, this is from restaurants who are struggling. Why would you offer a 30% off discount? It's because you don't have enough customers. A good restaurant is probably flat out on a Friday night and probably can't take any more. They should be at capacity, whether that's tables, delivery capability, or best of all, the actual throughput through the kitchen. So we're moving, and I'll keep everyone up to date on this. I know it's something that we've spoken a lot about with a lot of restaurants. What we want to be able to do is to create workflows where an automated email goes out with an automated offer, whether it's birthday, anniversary. Birthdays are a great one because most people don't book a table for one for their birthday. It'll be a table for 10, a table for 20, a table for 40. This is one of the ways that in the online booking space, because we've got our free online restaurant booking system as well, there is a big difference between the average number of seats in a booking as well. And it's the guys who are doing a really good job with events and corporate bookings that are making up that difference, we find in general. So there's a couple of things that you can do with your email database. The first one, of course, is obviously send out an email. Now, and the thing that I find really important is that people say, I'll say, have you done any email marketing? Oh, I don't like offering coupons. And it's like, whoa. Who said anything about discounting? So you can discount. And, in some respects, you probably should. I like to think, particularly if your kitchen is flat out on a Friday night, then why don't you try and drag some of that demand onto a Wednesday? If we had takeout on a Wednesday night, we would be very unlikely to have it on a Friday night because of the fact that you don't want to have too much takeout every week. I don't think that that's great. So we would be unlikely to do that a second time. So if we had Indian on, they could say, well, you know what? Here's a special deal. Is there a special meal? Are they trying a new menu item out? Because it would be hard to get me to order on a Wednesday night. But if they said, midweek, we are offering a super hot mega vindaloo. So here is a picture of a habanero. Do you put chilies in a vindaloo? I don't know. But let's just say you did. We're growing some habanero chilies, and we're making up a special vindaloo with it, and it's only available on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and a Thursday night. So if you would like, you can order it, and we will deliver it to you, or you can pick it up for whatever sort of offer. Now, I would go for that because I love really, really hot food, and I know that habaneros are there. And you could even do that little psychology thing, warning, don't order this unless you're tough enough to handle the hottest vindaloo in the suburb. Wow, this sounds like a competition. I do love hot vindaloos. I will go for that. And I would say to Tina, you know what? Let's have Indian tonight. They've got a special deal on. Let's go for that. Now, I've said it's a special deal. No one's talked about price discounting, but someone's gone out. They've come up with a meal that's going to work for me. Now, of course, not everyone's stupid like me and likes really, really hot vindaloos. What are the other things that you can do that would be special? What is the problem that you're trying to solve? Is it, everyone's busy on a Wednesday night and, you don't want to have to worry about cooking? I often say there's a battle that's fought every day over where people are going to eat dinner and lunch for that matter, and brekkie. And yet hardly any people turn up for it. I get so few restaurant marketing emails, even though I sign up for lots of them because I like to see what email marketing people are doing. And I think that that's a really important thing, is that once you've got that email database, then because the customers that we work with in our marketing mentor program, we say, so, what is it that you're going to do that's different? And they go, well, I don't know, do we have to? And it's like, well, they're the kind of things that work really well. Otherwise, if you're not going to come up with a new menu item, if you're not going to come up with something, then we're either going to be doing a value add or we're doing a discount. Otherwise it's a straight awareness campaign. And awareness campaigns are good, but you can't run 12 awareness campaigns a year. Hey, don't forget to order from us. Don't forget to come here and have a meal. All of those sort of things, they get old after a little while. So you need to be having something new. This menu engineering kind of idea, that's where you can get an idea. And, how many people in my suburb would be really keen on the hottest vindaloo in that suburb? And people ask me, and I go, the first thing I say is, I don't know. But how hard would it be for you to create the hottest vindaloo? Probably not that hard. So why don't you do it? Why don't you go out and get some really hot spices. It's probably not chilies in a vindaloo. I'm showing my ignorance of Indian culinary cuisine here, which is a bit sad. But I know what I like, and I like a hot vindaloo. It wouldn't be that hard for you to put that on the menu. Have it as a special, this is too hot, and, put a warning there. This is really, really hot. This is an authentic hot. What's the hottest curry? In India, what's the hottest curry? You know what? Start explaining to me about the different types of curries and where the hottest, like traditionally, what's the hottest vindaloo? And, because in Australia, we always have this kind of perception that the curries aren't as hot as they would be in India. Is that true? What is the hottest curry? Can you replicate that? And can you then say that you're the hottest curry in your suburb? And then market that. What are the other traditional Indian dishes that we don't see? Now, we lump Indian cuisine all in one big thing. Oh, Indian food. Now, I know that there are so many variations, and because, you've got borders that are moderately transparent. So, you've got Sri Lankan influences, you've got Pakistani influences, there's all sorts of different nuances on Indian cuisine. There's all sorts of different dishes in there, like Chinese food. Chinese is very different, if you're getting Sichuan or Hunan, Hong Kong food, all of the, they're very, very different. Maybe you send an email out introducing a dish from a different part of India and say, this is something that we haven't offered on our menu traditionally, but it's something that I think that everyone would really like. It's, it's made of this, it's made of that. Our chef's gone out and sourced these spices. We're starting to do some really interesting menu engineering. Now, you don't have to do this entirely just for online ordering. If you're trying to increase your bookings, you could do it dine-in only. Who knows? And I know that there are some restaurants that do struggle with dine-in. They have very big restaurants, and they're actually quite successful, but they struggle because they've got all these tables that are empty. Maybe it's a dine-in only special. But in that marketing, how can you educate me to the kind of things, to a new menu item? I would love that. Like, I know my way around a traditional Indian menu quite well, but it's interesting when there's restaurants out there that aren't your traditional Indian, and you think, oh wow, this is real. I don't even know what half the menu items are here. Educate me to that, so I'm less likely to be confused, and I know what I like. There's so much opportunity because so many people are really slack with the email marketing that they do. All it is, oh, don't forget about us. They're just doing the awareness marketing, or they're offering a discount. Both of which are just signs of laziness. There's so much more that you can do with your email marketing. Now, so you've got your email database and you've just sent out an email. Fantastic. What are the other things that you can do? So if we're going to do this suburb's hottest Indian, then we should be marketing that on Facebook as well. So order here, tell the story of it, have a photo of it, take a great photo, spend that little bit of time to make sure that the lighting's good and that the menu item actually looks good. If it is our mythical super hot curry, put a picture in of the habanero plant where you're getting the chilies from, or go and interview the spice guy that you get your spices from. What's his story? He's busting to tell you about the effort that he goes to source the world's best spices that you use in your food. Tell that story to me. So there's a lot of things that you can do in your email that should flow through to your Facebook campaign, and Facebook's going to be quite visual as well. So there's lots of things, do you have what it takes to try our hottest chili? Or we know that you like butter chicken. Everyone in Australia loves butter chicken. It's the most popular dish that gets ordered in the system. Have you thought about trying one of these? So this is similar to a butter chicken, but instead of this, we use this, this, and this. And we've actually gone out and we've sourced a special batch of this spice from this guy who had it grown over here because we think that the flavors are really fragrant and, it really does, it's significantly better than a butter chicken. And in India, it's a lot more popular than a butter chicken. Oh, well, because now we're taking a little bit of a road down culinary tourism. This is what authentic Indians eat in their homes. Wow, this sounds a little bit more exciting. Because I don't know, is butter chicken, do people have butter chicken in India? Who knows? Is it like General Xiao's chicken, which no one understands in China because it's an American dish? Interesting. So you do your email marketing, then you do your Facebook campaign. Now, the thing that you want to think about is you've sent an email, and I saw it, and I'm actually really busy at work, so I didn't open it, which was my bad because I was interested in the hottest chicken vindaloo. That sounds awesome to me, but I just got too busy. Now, the interesting thing is it then pops up in my Facebook feed. And it's like, oh, you know what? I did mean to go and order that, but I didn't because I got busy. Interesting. How did that appear in my Facebook feed? Because if you go back to our advanced Facebook marketing, you can use your email list to create a custom audience in Facebook. You know that I'm interested in it. And you could go so far to say, well, this guy, here are all of the people who order the madrasas and the vindaloos, our hot dishes. These are the people who have repeat ordered these. Now we're starting to get really, really... So if you're going to do that, if you're going to target those people, then let's go one step further and don't send me a generic message. Say, we know that you like a hot curry. Can you handle our hottest curry? So we've been working away on the hottest curry. You could go out and buy a gas mask for $20 and there's a picture of you cooking away in the restaurant with a big pot and you've got a gas mask on and big kitchen gloves, that people are going to go, whoa. And for me, that's got to be a hot curry. Now, we've gone in depth. We've talked a lot about hot curries because I love hot curries. This would resonate with me. I would click on that. I would order that today, but no one's actually doing that, which is really sad. These are the kind of marketing campaigns that work really well. Now, the fundamental question is, how many people are there that like really, really hot curries? How many people want to take that challenge? And it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be sustainable. You're not going to get a Ferrari out of that. But you will turn me into a more loyal customer. You will be my Indian restaurant because you are the guys who really understand hot curries. Like, you put a lot of thought into it, that the chef understands it. And he can make I've said to multiple Indian restaurants, if you can cook me a curry that I can't eat, I would be super excited and I would be a customer for life. I'd say, the curry that you made me that was super hot, let's just dial it back one because it was too hot for me to eat. No one's ever come close to that. There's a few that you have a little bit of respect for, but not a lot. That would really resonate with me. You then have got to go and find out 11 other little tiny niches. How do you amp up a butter chicken? What's the innovation for butter chicken? Now, I'm not saying take butter chicken off the menu. That would be madness because everyone loves butter chicken in Australia. So leave the butter chicken on there. But what's the innovation piece on it? What's the riff on butter chicken that can create a new dish that's going to become popular? And I think that this is one of the things that's really important, the way that you think about the execution of your meals. So just before we go to our one last big tip that I think is really important, and it's an insight that's only come out to us, over time. There's a very interesting article in the New York Times about a review about a pork souvlaki. So the New York Times, they're opening an Australian edition, and the food critic Sam Sifton came out and he went to a place called Kalamira Souvlaki Art. I've been there before, and yes, definitely awesome souvlakis. Or if you're not in Australia, if you're in the rest of the world, gyros, great food there. He had one of the souvlakis and loved it. And he said, a few days later, I was still thinking about the meal. I had a long flight home. There wasn't much to do. I thought about pork gyros for the better part of 14 hours. Then I dreamed about them when I slept. And I've been cooking them ever since, in the oven and under the broiler on the grill. Now, that's an amazing win for Kalamira Souvlaki Art. Or is it? And I think the big thing is, so I've eaten there, and as I said, the food is really great. And I was taken there because they said, these guys do an awesome souvlaki. And we love souvlakis. I'm actually going home to a souvlaki tonight. That was pre-planned because this is one of our go-to meals that we love to cook. But Thomas Deliopoulos, he's put the hard yards in. He's been cooking great food. It's paid off with a review in the New York Times by their food critic. That is really amazing. And this is the kind of thing that I want everyone to be thinking about, is that if you run the local Indian restaurant, it doesn't mean you have to be cooking local Indian restaurant food. So many people out there are crushing it because they're a little bit innovative and they pay that extra attention to detail in the sourcing of the ingredients, the preparation of the food, the delivery of the food, and the innovation and the menu engineering that goes into it. Those are the foundations for a really strong online ordering business. Before I wrap up, one thing that I want to say, I was talking to one of our customers recently. We're running a Facebook campaign for them, and the results from our end have been okay. Certainly nothing that we would write home about. They've been adequate. But one of the ads that Jasmine ran had the phone number in the picture. And these are the kind of things, and I think it was also in the text as well. Now, there are a lot of people out there who want the certainty of placing a phone call. And if you're using Menulog, Grubhub, Just Eat, Delivery Hero, Foodpanda, all of those guys, they won't publish your phone number because the worst thing that can happen is that you can make a decision about where you're going to order the food and then you give them a call and place the order. They don't get any money from that. So they'll never publish your phone number, which is crazy because we know that a lot of people still like using the phone. Now, and it's interesting. So I ran a restaurant marketing seminar a few weeks ago. And so it was really good. We had lots of really passionate restaurant owners in and we talked about lots of really interesting things. In the preparation for that, I wanted to highlight some of the good campaigns that we got just so that people would get an understanding of the kind of things that Facebook could do. Because some of the people who were coming there, they were kind of like, well, we don't do Facebook. And it was like, I wanted to inspire them to go out and run their first Facebook ad so that they could get a taste. And to do that, I wanted to show them some of the campaigns that we'd run for customers so that they'd get a really good understanding about what was actually capable of through running a Facebook ad. And so I pulled up our, I've spoken about it before, our go-to ad, which was the pancake one. So if you haven't heard about it, on a Sunday morning, we filled a cafe completely with people who were all ordering pancakes, just with a simple ad about, come in for brekkie, and it was a picture of pancake, the picture, it's got ice cream and maple syrup melting down the side. Wasn't a great picture, very small location, not a great campaign to run for various reasons. But the restaurant owner said it was the most profitable day that he'd had in the last 3 or 4 months, and, everyone was in there, everyone was ordering pancakes, which was their highest margin item. So there are a couple of good things there. One, he'd done the menu engineering and he knew that pancakes were the go-to item when he wanted to increase profitability. But the thing was that we knew that we'd run a really good campaign. We knew that, he had 4 or 5 times as many people as he would normally have in, because it was in, the start of winter, and he was pretty quiet. So he had 5 times as many people in the restaurant as he would normally have. But more importantly, they were all ordering pancakes. So this campaign, it kind of had its own redemption code in there. You always want to test and measure, what is the split normally of people ordering pancakes? And it was much, much higher on that day. So people had been programmed to order pancakes. Now, the thing that I found completely and absolutely amazing was when I looked at that campaign, I didn't run the campaign, one of the marketing team ran it. So it wasn't my campaign. When I looked at the numbers, I've gone, that's not that great. This is not a great Facebook campaign. So we've done a lot of effort, so that when you run a Facebook campaign, you can tag it so that you can say we spent $100 on Facebook and we generated, $3,500 out of that campaign in orders, or $5,000 or $10,000, and you can work out the return on investment. But the lesson that we learnt from that was, it's really interesting that the call to action wasn't actually online. Now, this was a small town. So in discussing it with the owner, it's a small town. Everyone knew them. So we weren't running an awareness campaign. Everyone knew where they were. No one needed to go to the website to find out what their address was. And it was a cafe for brekkie and it was quiet. It was in winter. So no one thought, whoops, better make sure I make a booking. So very few people were clicking the ad. Very few people were making bookings. Everyone had just thought, you know what, I'm going to take the family there and we'll have pancakes for brekkie. So make sure that your marketing campaign caters for that. Put the phone number in so that people can call it, particularly if you're running an ad. If you're not running an ad to it, then you don't need to put the phone number in every time because people are going to know you because they've liked your page. They probably know where you are and they've probably got your contact details, or if not, they can Google it. But if you're running an ad, then that's going to go to people who've never heard of your place before. So you put the phone number in there. And then they're going to be much more likely to give you a call. And this is what we found, is that the campaign that we were running increased the number of phone orders as well as online orders. So that's something to really think about, is that you don't want to be just driving people to an online solution. Yes, it's much better if they do. And what we find that some people are using our online ordering system, they're then going in and placing the order because they can do the credit card processing as well. So there's a few ways that you can sort of skin that cat. But I think that's a really interesting point. You may not, just because you're doing online marketing, you may not end up with an online order. It might be a phone order. And yes, we want to drive everyone to make that online order because we capture the email details so that we can target them back and you're spending less time on the phone. But I always think, hey, a phone order is often an order that you wouldn't have got otherwise. You've created the desire. People think, oh, I could go a Vindaloo tonight, and then if they can't make that phone call, then they may call someone else. There are a lot of people out there who don't like making phone calls. So just be cognizant of that when you're planning your Facebook marketing campaigns. And it's not that hard to do. Listen to some of our Facebook marketing ones, take a few great photos, come up with some interesting conversation around that. Once again, doesn't have to be an offer. You could be just talking about the recipe that you've done. You could cook it online. Have a listen to Grace's podcast. All she's doing is videos of her cooking, and she is incredibly popular and just literally cooking out of her house, being able to become an internet sensation just by sharing the recipes that she prepares in her own home-based kitchen. Lastly, we're going to bring it home with loyalty offers. So once we released Frollo, the free restaurant online ordering system, a lot of people said, people aren't coming across to us because they want the loyalty discount. So we thought, well, this is something that we're going to have to do. We built that in, and now it automatically takes care of itself. Very, very popular. And we see, it was interesting because we saw an almost instant uptake. Like within a week, we saw an increase in the number of people who were getting booking orders using the system because of the fact that the email goes, this was the first order that you've now got this much loyalty credit, you only need to order X amount more times and you'll be able to get Y amount of credit. That's the thing that's really exciting about automated loyalty offers. And this is where we want to get, so Menulog do that and Just Eat do that for all of their customers. This is the whole leveling the playing field on behalf of restaurant owners out there. This is your own automated loyalty campaign that is built into the online ordering system. And it works really, really, really well in driving those customers. And, I think it's quite powerful too to target those customers who haven't ordered in the last 60 days but have got a loyalty credit of more than blah. Once again, another really interesting filter that you can apply and then market out to drive repeat business. And that's the thing that we really want to do. Your database marketing is all about having you've gone out and done the hard work of getting those new customers. Hopefully they've had a great experience. We think, people are really busy. You've got to be working really hard to be top of mind when people are thinking, what are we going to have for dinner tonight? And this is the thing that the restaurant industry in general is quite poor at in the small end of town. The big end of town's very active in it. I'm thinking I'm going home to, some meal that either I've cooked or Tina's cooked. What about trying to stop that? What about saying, well, rather than that, how about this? We could do this for you. Another one of those really powerful ways of increasing the number of times that a customer orders from you. So there you go. We talked about this was going to be the 7 ways that you can increase your online orders, and I think we've covered a few more. So the first one was to review what your offer for takeout is. What is it that you're actually doing? What's the product that you provide? Second, look at the packaging for it. 3, menu engineering. Look at the descriptions that you've got on the product. Can you come up with a better description that's going to drive people to order your high margin products? And we all know what our high margin products are because we've all costed all of our menus, haven't we? And we've done it fairly recently because produce prices change, haven't we? I know that probably only 10% of people have done that. But anyway, we'll move on. Segment your customers based on when they last ordered. Segment your customers based on delivery versus pickup. Offers for pickup versus delivery. Email marketing. Never, ever, ever use a system as your main online ordering system, as the online ordering system on your website if you don't get the email address. And this is the thing that kind of does Menulog heads in Australia where we compete. And I know it perplexes Just Eat and the other guys as well. We say, if you're happy to do that, you should do that. What you want to do though is you want to put an offer in the bag as you ship it out to the Just Eat customer that says order online from us, order direct from us. We have to pay a 13% whatever commission, and it really hurts us, to enable us to provide you with the best food, with the best produce, and cooked by the best chefs possible. Order direct from us because it saves us money. I know people who are going to market with that strategy and it's working. They're not offering a discount. Now, you might want to offer a discount. There's all sorts of other things that you can do, but you've got to get that email address. And to do that, you've got to get them to order from your system on your website, not someone like Menulog or Just Eat. Facebook marketing. Facebook marketing is really powerful for online ordering, and we're seeing this as being one of the big differentiators. People are doing strong online marketing campaigns. And I think that we will start to see over the next, 1 to 2 years, restaurants who are routinely spending $10,000 to $20,000 a year on Facebook marketing as a part of their online ordering strategy because they know that it's going to work. Facebook marketing for online ordering is much higher return on investment because people tend to be a lot more habit driven in where they order than where they actually eat on premise. So and you only have to look at my example, I am probably worth $3,000 or $4,000 a year to the Indian restaurant that I'm currently ordering from. And I am fickle-ish. I am looking for a quality product, and this is why when we gave up on the one that we'd been loyal to for 2 years because the product had decreased to a point where I just didn't enjoy the Vindaloo anymore, we went through 4 other restaurants. There was one that we quite liked, but they were very expensive. They were too expensive for us to be able to order on a weekly basis. We then found this one, and they're very cost-effective, and they produce a great Vindaloo. Now, just as a quick aside on that, I did speak to the restaurant owner, and he said that he was paying, I think it was north of $10,000 a year in fees to Menulog, and he'd tried to cut costs by changing his recipes and his spice supplies and his meat supplies. That was why the food wasn't as any good. Because I said to him, the food's not as good as it used to be. And he was trying to cut costs. And this is the thing. We've got restaurants who are doing north of $2,000 a week in Menulog. They will save $10,000 a year in fees. Now, and the thing I love about that is that they've now got choices. They can pocket an extra $10,000. They can employ someone, for $10,000 a year. How many hours does that buy a week? Which means that they may be able to work less, or they might spend some more time working on the business rather than in the business, or they can spend it on marketing. Imagine these guys are going to get a free $10,000 marketing budget. Now, that would turn them into a really powerful business, and I think that this is the really exciting opportunity around the free restaurant online ordering system and why you should be thinking about your Facebook marketing. Lastly, loyalty offers. So have a think about the loyalty offers that you're offering to your customers, that you're sending out to them, and how you can use that to drive them to order more frequently. So that's about it. We've covered well and truly more than 7 over the last 2 podcasts, 7 ways to grow your online ordering business. As I said, this is how some restaurants are getting over $2,000 a week in online orders. They're building their email database. Every week they're adding. And, more of their customers are flipping over from being a new customer in the system to being a repeat customer. And that's really exciting to see. The free restaurant online ordering system, it's allowing them to do all of that. We're using Stripe, so they're getting the money's in their account in 2 or 3 days. They're getting access to the customer emails. And more importantly, all of our Frollo customers are now, for free, having their information fed into the free restaurant CRM system. And this is just the start of the product. We've built our online booking system, we've built our restaurant CRM system, and we've built our system that builds the websites. Most of the work from now on in is going to be built around the free restaurant CRM system so that we can get the automated marketing, we can get the smart marketing, and because we're already doing the segmenting, we just really want to double down on enabling you to be able to send quick and easy marketing campaigns that will increase revenue. Because we see that all the time. Sending an email out to 5,000 people, that is money. The ability to send 5,000 emails out to 5,000 people who've dealt with your restaurant before, that is a bankable email when you send it out. As long as your restaurant is, pretty decent, people will respond to that and it will increase the amount of money that goes into your pocket. And that's really exciting. That's the thing that excites us every day, is being able to do those campaigns, get those results, and just see, get the reaction from the restaurant owner, or empowering them to do that themselves. So that's it. I really hope that you have a busy day. I hope some of it is made up of online orders. So that's it. Have a busy week. Bye.
Want more customers for your restaurant, cafe or takeout? Every month, our marketing tools and information are used by thousands of restaurant owners just like you to help them find more customers and turn them into repeat customers. All of our tools and information is designed specifically for restaurant owners. We know you don't have a lot of time to spend marketing or learning complicated procedures, so our tools are quick and easy to use. If you're looking to increase your revenue and profits or want to work less hours, check out marketingforrestaurants.com.